Another year, another Battlefield game. What's up, everyone? This is TechTrooper64, and today, this is my review of Battlefield 1 for Xbox One. Battlefield 1 for Xbox One is a game that is their latest shooter from DICE Studios, developed by DICE and published by EA Games. Battlefield 1 is a great game that it serves as a first-person shooter that takes place during the Great War. In other words, World War I. Battlefield 1 brings a lot to the table with brand new visuals, exciting gameplay, old-time weapons, and, I have to say, a brand new way to look at campaigns, such as war stories. Battlefield 1 brings a lot to the table in its sense. It brings a more bigger world and a bigger, vast idea. Instead of its competitor series, the Call of Duty series, Battlefield decided to go back in time rather going forward in time and basing their next game into the future. Their game is honestly a great crafted game, to be honest with you. The gameplay online is pretty fun, and it's way better than Battlefield 4's launch. Players on Battlefield 4 might recall that when Battlefield 4 launched, it had a lot of issues. You couldn't find games, there was a lot of issues connecting with other players, you couldn't find matchmaking too well, and playing with friends was a complete disaster. This is no longer like this with Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 feels like a completely new breath of fresh air in this old series. Battlefield 1 puts everything in its power to try to replicate an idea of a brand new idea for the series. Battlefield 1 is unique in its sense that it brings everything great to the table, such as an old-time setting with horses, old tanks, and bayonets. It brings a lot to the table in that sense, and I love it a lot. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has to really be a big hit if they want to compete with Battlefield 1. It's honestly an amazing game. Not just that, but Battlefield 1, although it has the same visual effects and graphics on Xbox One as Battlefield 4 does, the game somehow looks like it looks a lot cleaner, nicer. And for someone who wants a very nice experience and a very cinematic one at that, I recommend that you go in the settings of Battlefield 1 and disable the HUD, the heads-up display. This is stuff like scores and your ammo count on how much you have in your gun. When you disable it, the game looks beautiful, and it looks like you're really living in the trenches of World War I. The game is more clean and crisp than I remember Battlefield being. It combines the UI and the organization that you see in Star Wars Battlefront that was released in 2015, developed by the same team at DICE, and it brings the good gameplay that you love in Battlefield. You can still play with planes, helicopters. Well, of course, there was no helicopters back then, but of course, you can still play with biplanes, and you can play with people on land and tanks. Battlefield 1 brings so much to the table, and I think it'll be a great aspect and a great addition to the Battlefield franchise. That's why, as my final verdict, I think I'm going to be giving Battlefield 1 on Xbox One a 9 out of 10. Battlefield 1 gives you a brand new experience with old-time weapons and makes you relive the old days of World War I all over again. With some brand new visuals and with HDR support on Xbox One S, if you guys have it, the game, coupled that with HDR and 4K, looks stunning compared to Battlefield 4. Honestly, players who think that this was a copy of Battlefield 4 should reconsider buying this game. For more news and updates on Battlefield 1, subscribe to my channel.